Hello students, welcome to the HTML image video. I am Robinson Recalde and I will be talking about how image in HTML work. Thanks for watching Edupedia.com. So, first we'll be talking a little bit about the format of the images that can be inserted on an HTML document. If we talk a little bit about the format of the images, we need to mention GIF images, JPG images, and PNG images. That are the ones we are going to use in any HTML document. GIF stands for Graphics Interchange Format. The GIF is a bitmap image format that was introduced by CompuServe in 1987 and has since come into widespread usage on the World Wide Web due to its wide support and portability. JPEG, or better seen on the internet as JPG, is a commonly used method of lossy compression for digital images, particularly for those images produced by digital photography. PNG stands for Portable Network Graphics and is a raster graphics file format that supports lossless data compression. PNG was created as an improved non-pattern replacement for the GIF format and is the most used lossless image compression format on the internet. Now that we know what are the three most famous formats for the images used on the internet, we can skip to the HTML image syntax. As we know, every HTML element has syntax to its correct use. In HTML, images are defined with the img tag. As we have used and explained it in other videos, there are some elements in HTML that can be empty. img is one of them. It contains attribute only and does not have a closing tag. The src attribute defines the URL of the image. So let's jump to the Sublime Text screen to see the example. Hello again. This is the first example of today's video. In this example, I will explain what the HTML images syntax is and how to edit it. First, let's write our HTML document as we always must. First of all, I will save this document to be HTML from the very beginning. Right, let's write it here in the desktop. So I will put here, I don't know, image example .html. I will look for HTML and that's it. So let's write the HTML document. First, remember always to put the .type declaration, then the HTML. Always remember to close the HTML tags. Let's put here title, image examples, and go to the body part, and here I will put head 1, okay. This is a syntax of the HTML we're going to use. It's not that hard. And here I will explain the syntax of the HTML. As explained earlier, the img tag is empty. So this means that it does not have any closing tag. And you need to remember that the src attribute defines the URL of the image. So this is the element of the image, img. I will put here src, which is the attribute that defines the URL of the image. And I will put here our image. Look, this image is the Mount Everest seen with the Google satellite. So here I have it. I will use put something else, that is the alt attribute, and we'll put Mount Everest. I will save, go here, and I will open it with Firefox. Here you have it. This is the image we used, and this is the image on the web browser. It is actually really simple. But what would happen if I do not put any text here in the alt attribute? Let's just delete this, and we'll put an error here. I will save, and there you have it. There is no image because it's a broken link. But if I have this, the alt attribute full of words, and then I save it, I can go here, research, and you will see this. There is a broken link, but you have test instead of the broken link, instead of nothing, I mean. If I try to copy this text, I can, because it's like the part of the image. So let's use fix this, and that's it. So the alt attribute specifies an alternate text for the image if it cannot be displayed. This is really good for pages that take longer than usual to load, because instead of showing an image broken icon, it will show the text you have written in the alt attribute space. The alt attribute is required always, because if you do not have one, a web page will not validate correctly without it. I mean, when you try to validate this new web page in the w3c.org, it will not pass, because the image needs to have the alt attribute as a title for the image itself. Now, let's put the title attribute. The title attribute is not the same, because this is the name of the image. This is what it will appear instead of a broken link in case the image not load very well. But the title is going to appear if you put your mouse over the image. You see? Mount Everest. Mount Everest again. Okay, the title attribute has a function really useful. You can put the title to the image, so when the viewer is looking at your image and happens to put the mouse over the image, as I show you, the title will be displayed. It's like to put the alt attribute only for the viewer is possible to see the image. Another thing about alt attribute is that there are on the web screen readers, for those people enabled to read it or see it. Screen readers are software programs that can read what is displayed on the screen. Used on the web. Screen readers can reproduce HTML as text-to-speech. Screen readers can read the alt attribute instead of the image. That's why it is important, this attribute, and also important to put the description of the image in it. Remember that this alt attribute is something relevant to the image. You're not going to put here in an image of the Mount Everest something like Kilimanjaro. Kilimanjaro is a mountain in South Africa, and it's not relevant to the Mount Everest because it's not an image of the Kilimanjaro, of course. So this is it for this example. How to see you soon in the video. Okay, now that it's clear how to use the img element, we can skip to the part of the image size, width and height. The ing element has attribute to specify the width and the height. But why don't we skip to the example to see this clearer? Image size, width and height, style attributes. Let's go to the example. Hello again and welcome to this example. In the past minute, I talked you about how the img element has attributes to specify the width and the height. There are in fact three ways to do it. One of those ways we know it very well. That is using the style HTML element or the CSS style sheet. But let's start with the two ways using img attributes. In the first way, we can use a style as an attribute. Remember that all sizes in the images are expressed in pixels. So in this case, what we need to do is the following. First, let me see what is the width and height of the image. Just give me a second. Here's the width and the height. 645 and 364. So let's just put that over here so we don't lose it. 34. Okay, so to use the style attribute, we just need to add in our element the style attribute of the img. To do this, we just need to add the following. Remember to write correctly the width and the height, because if not, you will have real problems here. Remember that the images are all expressed in pixels, so we need to add the px at the end of the number. So now height 304 px, and we just save. And actually that's it. But let's change this a little bit to see what happens. You see how I can change all the width and the height of the image? This is the first way to do it. That is the style way to do it as an attribute of the img element. In contrast, in the second way to do it is using the height and width attributes of img element. In this way, what we need to do is to add height and width as an attribute in the element. For example, instead of doing this as an style, we just do this. Width. Sorry, I write it wrong. Width 5 pixels and height, right? 364 pixels. We're going to delete this. Save. And exactly the same. Let's change this to see what happens. You see? I can change the width and the height in the two ways. The other way to do it is to edit the CSS style sheet. But you need to keep in mind that this will change all the image using the img element and only this one that you want to change. Because when you're going to change something in the style sheet, you need to change the element as a whole and not only one element. For example, here I will put img and then this, and I can change everything in this element because I'm talking about img here. This of course is not a CSS style sheet. This is the style element we can use before the head element of the HTML document. So here I can put something like width and then I don't know, it's pixels close this and see what happens. You see, you will change all the images. But if I put, for example, 100% and save 100%, this 100% does not mean the 100% of the image. I mean, 100% here does not mean that you are going to put the width in 645 pixels. You are going to put the width 100% in the screen. For example, if I do this, you see how the image shrink? This is called responsive, and we are going to talk about this in later videos. I will explain how to put the responsive elements in a web page. So when you change the screen, the image and the elements and the text and everything inside the HTML document will change. So let's delete this. W3C recommends using the style option to change the size of the image, but not the style option that I showed you here inside the head element. The style option that I show you here. The style option that is this. This one. You see? It is really simple. So, this is the end of this example. Okay, so we can now skip to the next part, which is displaying images. There are multiple ways of displaying an image, but it also depends on if the image is in the same folder, another folder, or even in another server. Let me explain this by an example. So, hello again, and this is the example of displaying images. In case the image is not specified where it's stored, the browser will automatically specify the image in the same folder as the web page. What do I mean by this? Do you know that when I save this document, it was stored in the desktop of my computer? You can see it here, desktop, and example.html. So, if you put something in the src of the image, I don't know, hello.png, the browser will think that this image is stored in the same folder of the web page. This means in the desktop of my computer. So, why? Let me see an example that we change. Rename this as hello, but I think this image is GPG, correct. GPG. So we'll put here GPG, and I will delete this style because it's not the image will be really ugly. And you see it, right? My URL is just hello.jpg, sorry. So, you see how the image is displayed. This works when the image is stored in the same folder as the web page. But in case the image is stored in another folder, we need to specify that to the browser. These two cases are, of course, in case the image is stored in the same server. We, in fact, don't have to put all the URL if we store the images in the same server as the web page. Let's look at this example. This example, I will put, I don't know, let me see, I will open this. I will change me see what is this. Okay. This image is stored in a folder called cosas in Spanish. Sorry. I will put here cosas slash because it means that it's in another folder. And this means that cosas is in the desktop, of course. Slash because it means that it's another folder. And we change this to libros, that is book in Spanish. Save. And you see, here you have all the image. It is quite simple, frankly. So, always remember that in case the browser cannot find the image, it will display a broken link icon. That is why it is so important to put this element, alt element. Always remember to put the alt element. Sorry, the alt attribute. In case the image is in another server, everything is easy again. You just need to put the URL and that's it. But of course you are risking that someday that web page deletes your image. That web page, I mean the server of the other page you are taking the image from. So, another server could be this, for example. This is another server, the server of grupocanton.com. So, sorry. So, I just need to copy and paste this. Oh, sorry. I need to put this. I forgot it. So, you have it. It's really simple. So, this is it for this example. See you later. Okay, so now let's jump to the final section on this video, which is more about images. The first one, animated images. It is not that complicated, the thing about the animated images. We all know, as explained before in the first part of the video, that the animated images come from the GIF format. But that's it. You only need to put the URL and it's done. You will have your animated image in your web page. Now, let's skip to using an image as a link. This topic is pretty simple also. I will explain here the syntax, where I will explain it much more in the next video of the course, which is called HTML links. Hello again. This is the example of using an image as a link. So, this is actually really simple, and I will explain it much better in the next video, in the following video that is called HTML links. I will here just put a brief thing about it, and it is like this. First, well, we happen to have the image here, and our image is this image example. Okay, just let's put the element A, that is for the link, the href attribute. We are going to put here, I don't know, http www.edupediaworld.com. Okay, and I will put here target. I will explain all of this in the next video, I promise. Target blank and alt title. Now, this is okay because it's an image, and I just need to close it. Okay, this is our link here and here, and this is our image. I will just save it. I will upload this fresh, and you see how the mouse changed, right? Yes. And if I click, yes, I will go to the Edupedia World homepage. Actually, really simple. Okay, but I promise I will explain this in better detail in the following video that is called HTML links. So this is all for now. So let's talk now about image maps. This is actually a little bit complicated, but thanks to the technology we have some ways to do it without having so much trouble. The thing about the image maps is that you can create an image map with clickable areas. You can do the image map with Dreamweaver, but again, thanks to the internet we can do this much simpler. We can do it by a website called CSS Image Map Generator. Let's take a look. Hello again, folks. In this example, I will explain how to make a map image. This is actually a little bit complicated, but thanks to the internet, we have things now Dreamweaver that helps us to make the image map, and we also have some plugins and some web applications that can help us. So this is one of them, that is called CSS Image Map Generator. So let's just select the file first. I will upload the hello image that we use for the example of the image in the same server and folder. I don't know what is taking so long to upload. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. So let's try to do it in Google Chrome. Here I have the CSS image map generator. And we have this hello file. And it's actually taking too long to... No, sorry. Okay, here you have the visual editor of the image, and we're going to add a link over here. This is supposed to be with code and some coordinates, but it is simple like this. In this red square is going to be the link that we are going to put. We go here to edit, link text, I don't know, Edupedia word, title Edupedia word, HTTP, sorry, www.edupediaword.com, and that's it. Preview, and you see how in this part of the image the mouse has no clickable link. Sorry, we need to do this again. It's actually really fast. We'll add a link here, only the link to make this work fast. edupediaword.com, Edupedia word, and that's it. In the preview, you see how the image here doesn't have any clickable thing, but when you put in the face of the person in this image, you can click and go to the Edupedia word homepage. Well, this is actually everything. After you done, you just put generate code, and this code you copy and paste where you can put the image. You just generate here. So that's it about it. See you in the final example. Okay, now let's talk about our last thing before we finish, the image floating. You can let an image flow to the left or right of a paragraph, and it's actually pretty simple. Let's look at it. So, welcome to the last example of this video. Well, The thing about the float value for the style attribute is really simple. Here, well, I need to delete this and this. Okay, we have here the image of the Mount Everest, and we're going to use it in this way. The width, I do not remember, but the width 65 pixels, and the height was 34 pixels. So we just save. Okay, well, the float attribute, or the float value for the style attribute, is just put the float theme and the value next to it. The value next to it could be left or right. We're going to put here left, and we're going to put also here some text. Let's generate the text in Lorem Ipsum as explained in an earlier video. Just hit this. You see, the float image is just to put the image to one side of the paragraph. I could put to the left or to the right. You see? Now it's to the right. This is to put some, I don't know, organization. To put the things really smooth and simple and good in the paragraph of our web pages. So this is it. Thanks for watching this last example. I hope to see you soon in other videos. Okay folks, this is all for this video. Hope to see you soon in later videos.